yeah, it's Sunday. And you know what Sunday means, right? It's watch soup time. Yes, bringing it back, getting the band together with a new band member. We're bringing you watch soup. We'll get into what that means, but we're really excited to be back. I know I am. Clayton, Watchdog Podcast, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm super excited, honored that you asked me. I always enjoyed when I was a guest on, I believe I guested with you and with Sanjay a bunch of times. So super
Yeah,
honored to be on with you both. And yeah, I can't wait. Very excited
yeah,
that you decided to bring it back. So,
yeah, but and very excited that you agreed to be a co-host along with
oh, sure.
Sanjay and I. You know,
Of course.
the
Honor.
more
It's an honor. The honor is all mine.
excellent, excellent. Clayton, what do you got on wrist?
I'm rocking the Air King tonight.
Ooh, very
Doing a
nice.
5-day rotation. I may just keep wearing it. Bobby inspired me. He's wearing the Docs of the whole month. He said last night on Sanjay's stream. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I might just keep wearing it.
Is that I can tell, is that the new generation
Yes, I
with the
got
crown
this
guards?
from an
Yeah,
AD. I got this in September. 75-day waiting list. First visit
yeah,
at the
that,
AD.
yeah.
I bought the Santos and talked with her, and she got me on. So and
That's
yeah,
incredible. So it can happen to anybody, right? I mean, with Rolex, I
yeah.
know that's what people say. You have to wait. You have to be on the list. It takes years. But if you if you just talk, right? If you have a great conversation,
I actually told her I wasn't super interested in Rolex because I found the whole AD experience so challenging, and
l-
I think that resonated with her. And then I told her like watch
mm,
geeky stuff about the upgraded Air King that I liked, and she's like, "All right, I guarantee you one. It may take a year." Yeah, she said a year, and I got
yeah.
it in 75 days.
Wow, a little reverse psychology.
I was just yeah, I went there to buy that. I saw that Santos, and I mean I didn't
Yeah,
even go to the Rolex section. We just started talking, and I just brought it up.
yeah. I mean, and the guy that I work with, at the Rolex boutique, he told me something similar too. He's like, I'll get you the watch. It may take a while, but I'll get you the watch. You know what I mean? So it's not like I've ever had that experience. Well, not with this guy anyway, saying that, yeah, forget it, you're out of here. You don't have a history and whatnot. Those are good. Those are great salespeople. That's the
Right?
great answer to say, right?
She's
Don't turn
amazing.
anybody away. Just say, I can get it to you. It may take a while, but I can get it to you. And you can leave it at that. Sanjay, what is up?
Hey Rob, it's good to be on the stream with you again.
Yeah, yeah. This is great. This is great. Hey, I heard you guys had some crazy weather up there.
Yeah,
No?
yeah, we had about 10 inches,
Oh, okay.
10 inches of snow, maybe a little more.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah, I was pretty sore yesterday.
Oh, shoveling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Doing a lot of shoveling.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Mrs.
when the plow goes by and
Mm.
there's a mound of
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
really slushy, thick,
Hmm.
heavy salt. Took me an hour just to get the driveway clean, like the exit of my driveway.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Right at the apron over there. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, when I used to live in more of an urban environment, if you were on the side of the street where the plow kind of angles to,
Oh
when they shove, oh yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal.
yeah,
It takes a long time. But here we
yeah,
have the same problem sometimes with the plow. There's nothing right on the other side of the street. There's nothing there. Like, angle the plow that way. You know what
right.
I mean? Really
Yeah.
always like. Anyway, hey, what do you have on wrist?
On my wrist is a watch we've all owned. It's the Sea of Clouds.
You're the
We've
lone
all,
survivor, right?
yeah,
Is this a watch soup group watch? The Sea of
yeah,
Clouds.
I think so. I
It's a
mean,
was a great watch.
yeah, yeah, with the quartz movement in the back of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
excellent.
I love this watch.
Yeah, for me, and I don't know about you, Clayton. For me, like that case, beautiful, a lot of polish, and it kind of like bugged me, like it worried me. You know what I mean? And I know we wear our watches, and you got to get them scratched up and whatnot. But I mean, that one, it was just so pretty. Like I didn't want to ruin it.
I scratched the
Yeah,
bezel pretty early on, and I have no idea how I did it. I didn't really do anything rough with it. It just happens. It just happens.
Yeah,
And Sanjay,
absolutely.
if you end up getting that Santos, I have the ADLC Santos, so don't worry
yeah,
about that. But I had a two-tone Santos 100 before that, and I bought it pre-owned, and it was already scratched up, so
Mhm.
alleviated On that, I don't know. I don't think I'd have any worries about a brand new Santos, but those are, you breathe on them and they
Yeah,
scratch.
they scratch too. Yeah.
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 Mrs. Legs wants one, but then I told her, hey, those get scratched pretty easy, and she's like, oh, she's like bummed by that, but she may have to power through. She may have to power. Hey, I got the Submariner
Oh yes.
Yes.
on a rubber B. Yeah.
Oh, cool. How
I
do you
do
like
too.
it on that?
Oh, I love it. I love it. The reason why I put it on, I don't know. I started getting like self conscious about wearing in the public a Rolex, and whatever. I mean, I probably it's all in my head. So I wanted to kind of lower that kind of visual profile, and the rubber B is perfect, and it looks great on it. And this is a great strap. I mean, they're expensive, but
Is there
probably worth every
there a
penny.
is there a deploying option for that? Would you go that route?
I don't think there was. I don't
Okay.
recall. I don't recall. I don't think there was. But I mean, I'm fine with the Tampa. It's
Yeah.
all good. It's all good. Yeah, no, very very happy with that setup. Hey, let's say hello to some people first,
Yes, sir.
and then we'll get into what Watch Soup is about for some of you who may not have ever seen an episode of Watch Soup. It's been a while. Rick is here. How you doing, Rick? Bruno is here. What's up, Bruno? Mez9, what's going on? Wilson, Keith, and Joey B are here. The intern is here. Does anyone need anything, guys? He's not
Got
going to
my
get it for you
chocolate milk.
anyway.
Thank you,
Okay.
Oh,
intern.
good.
Okay. Uh, oh, man. Jared is here. What is going on? Ken Spear is here all the way from Pittsburgh. Time Hell, Steve is here. How you doing? Pale Horse is here. Peter C is here. Marceau, Joey Silva. Excellent, excellent cast here. Underachieving Watch Collector. How you doing? 911 Dan, what is up? Navy Blue Monster, hello, sir. Good to see you. Crown and Cactus. Watchdog
Oh,
Podcast
thank you.
rules.
Wow, thank you so much, Crown and Cactus. Wow.
Hey,
Thank you.
anybody, if you guys don't know, and you should, but Clean has a podcast, and the link is in the description below. Sanjay's got a channel, you guys also know, and his link is in the description below. The bleep hole. Hey, a YouTube algorithm brought me here. Good day, gents. Excellent. It works for somebody. Excellent. Maison number one is here. How are you? Good to see you.
Oh, nice watch.
L- let's let's get into it. Okay, so if some of you guys have never seen Watch Soup before, it was a show that Sanjay and I hosted about a year or so ago, like, or maybe even longer. I don't even remember when we started. It was probably in the thick of things with quarantine, and there was just a lot of boredom, and we watched a lot of YouTube content, especially watch content. And so we put together a show where we would take a couple videos from the big content creators in the watch space and kind of talk about them and analyze them. This Watch Soup concept is not new. It is based on a entertainment show, Talk Soup, from back in the day. And so let's have a little bit of fun, shall we? And the first video we're going to talk about is a Federico Loves Watches video, the 3 secrets to getting a great deal on your next watch purchase, how to get it cheaper. Clayton, this is one that you selected. Tell us a little bit about this video.
Well, it's something we're all interested in, right?
Mm,
And based on what you guys were saying last night too on your stream, Sanjay, I can tell you Cartier, the authorized dealer, which is in New Jersey, we were visiting family there. They actually had to sign an agreement with Cartier that they would not give discounts. So they make up for it with swag. So we got Cartier perfume for my wife and some other swag. So I guess better than nothing. But yeah, so we're all looking for. So he starts out, he's no BS with Fed, right? He's a straight shooter, which is kind of why I like Fed, and he's not gonna. He doesn't care if your feelings are hurt. He's just being honest. So he said, everything can be negotiable to a point. If you want a discount on a Submariner, probably not going to happen, and some other watches. But so the first tip he said is shop at the end of the month, right? Because the
mm,
salespeople are looking
mhm.
to boost their monthly numbers. You go in like today, March 5th, or you email him about a watch. He may not be super motivated to give you any sort of discount, but March 29th, 30th, 31st, if he's looking to boost those sales, might be a little more motivated to work with you. Number two is don't say that you'll pay cash. Now, wire transfer, he's all about that, and he said he may even give you 3% if you do a wire transfer, which is cool. But you know, a lot of us are like, I'll pay cash. He said no, that's a giant pain in the butt. He has to go to the bank. Then he's never done one cash deal at Delray ever.
Mm.
He said, which is a little surprising. I am a dog runner and walker cash business to a point. So I have bought a few watches in cash. I just bought that Seiko SPB 288 a few weeks ago in cash, and they were like, "We love cash." So
Mm.
I don't know, but a Fed does not like cash. Pay in a wire transfer, and he said he'll give you a little deal on that, so he doesn't have to pay the credit card fees and all that. So that's the second thing. And third thing is just be ready to buy if you're negotiating price and you know he's taking the time to and you know losing a little bit of money, say all right, I'll give you a break on that or whatever, and then you say okay, well I'll think about it and get back to you, then that he said that deal's gone. He said the discount stands today if you're ready
Mm.
to buy. So two things that will guarantee you with Fed anyway, and probably some other dealers too: offer to do a cash wire and be ready to buy today. If you have money in hand or in the bank ready to go and you're ready to buy, you know what you want, you're ready to buy, and you get both agree on a price, you know, he's probably going to cut you a break. So those are the three things he kind of talked about. Yeah, I've always had good luck with paying in cash at local dealers anyway. They don't seem to mind at all. But they go to the bank more than just probably an online only business. So I guess I see
Yeah.
where Fed's coming from there.
Yeah. Sanjay, any thoughts on the video?
Yeah. Well, I thought Fed had a like a storefront as well. Was is he just completely online, or do you guys know? Or?
I think so. I've never been, right, and I think I may have recalled him talking about that. It's mainly an online business, but there
Okay.
is like some area where he can, host somebody if somebody like makes an appointment, kind of like how like Watchbox, like when we visited Watchbox earlier in the year in Philadelphia, it's not really like a storefront, right? It's
Yeah.
it's kind of like a commercial building where it's in, but you can make an appointment to come in there and see watches. You can't just walk in from the street, and I think that's kind of a
Okay.
similar setup. I could be wrong. Anyone in the chat can correct me, but I think it's like that.
Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, I thought that was, for the most part, sound advice for getting a decent deal.
Mm.
I thought it was curious that he mentioned Omega. He wouldn't move on Omega. Like he mentioned a couple of brands with Rolex that I was like, hmm, that's that's strange. Like Omega. Say what you will about their ads and boutiques maybe reducing discounts, but even so, I think generally speaking, you can get a handy discount with Omega. Maybe he's talking about how he prices stuff
Yeah,
in general, but then wouldn't that apply for every other watch he prices, like not just Omega? Um, so anyway, yeah, he mentioned like if there's a watch that has been sitting on his shelf for quite some time, he might be more willing to part with it, which is yeah, basic psychology. So I mean, I wasn't too impressed with this video. We didn't get any gold nuggets or anything, but it was an interesting one. It
yeah.
was good to hear about the wire transfer thing,
Hmm.
but even that, the, nothing crazy, So, what did you think about it, Rob?
Yeah, I don't think he's not going to give the secrets, the real secrets away, right? I mean,
Right.
like but I think you brought up a good point with him mentioning Omega, and Tudor was another one, right?
Oh yeah,
That just gonna like I think he's like somehow I think it's like more deeper. I think I feel like he's like sending you a message saying, hey, just don't even bother negotiating with Omega and Tudor and Rolex. Obviously, we know Rolex because I'm not going to give you a discount. So he's trying to tell people right off the bat, don't even bother. Save me
hmm
some time, right? Um, Look, I found the end of the month thing interesting. Probably the most
Hmm.
interesting out of it all, and I'm like, yeah, duh. I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, like, what's the urban myth that the cops, right? They have to write tickets at the end of the month, to catch up. Maybe it's the same kind of logic applies with the watch industry or these online sellers. Is that they have to hit their numbers, and maybe they're more willing to make a deal. I
yeah,
look, I wasn't impressed too much with the video per se. I don't think I got anything really, really good. Although I appreciate him doing it, and he has a good delivery, and he explains it well, and it almost seems like he's doing you a favor. He's so good at that, right? Um, but other than like maybe like the end of the month thing, like I didn't really learn anything new. But I am curious to see that end of the business, right? That end of the transaction, not necessarily my end of the transaction, but their end of the transaction,
Hmm.
and where they're coming from. Because at the end of the day, it's a negotiation, and the ideal situation is like both parties are happy
Mm-hmm.
at the end of it, right? I think Fed's prices are most of the time pretty good. He's got an Anardane there for like 8 grand though, which is insane right now. But I feel like most of his prices are pretty good, and I've never bought a watch from Del Rey. I've tried to. I've also tried to sell something to them, and it's always like, we're nowhere near. We're too far apart. That's one of his
Same.
favorite. It's like
That
no can do. That's another famous one.
He's always been
But
polite, but yeah, he'll be
yeah,
like honest. Like, yeah, we're way far apart. He'll ask you what you want. You know he's gonna come
yeah,
back. Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
send that email and you're like, there's no chance in heck this is gonna work.
He never on at least on the sales side, he never gives you a number first. He never tips his
He'll always
hand, right?
ask you what
He's
you want.
exactly, and so then that puts you in a position like you're playing defense already, right?
Hmm.
And so like, but there's so many online dealers right now to go to sell. Like I wouldn't sell a watch to Fed. I may buy a watch from Fed, but I won't sell a watch. There's so many places to do that on anyway, right? And and I think like with like the advent of eBay now, right? Especially with the authentication and how aggressive they're pushing, watch selling on there. I feel like you can get a better deal anyway
Mm.
on there. But look, I mean, I think it opens up the conversation. Like, what are some of the negotiation techniques that we use? I mean, Clayton, you buy pre-owned, right? Or secondary market or gray market? Like, what do you think? And then I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what do you think you can add to what Federico said? Like, what are some of the things you do?
Uh, I guess I like this because I don't know, being a business owner and just the way it runs is fascinating to me. So hearing all that stuff, I personally hate getting paid in checks. It's
Hmm.
like, oh, geez,
Mm-hmm.
just please give me cash or just let's do it electronically. Like there are a lot of people who still pay in checks, and I'm like, it's 2023, no more checks. I don't really. I'm not a great negotiator. I don't think I'll just ask like if there's room or buy it now price. I've been given a buy it now price on a
Mm,
few watches, and just getting more comfortable talking to the guys too. I spend a lot of time talking, like what that store where I ended up buying my Submariner from Gray Market, but they are an authorized dealer for Omega and for other brands. I got my No Time to Die there. I just spent like a long time talking to those guys. They opened the safe. They had Newman Daytonas in there and everything. And then when you ask for, you butter them up. Well, it wasn't really that. I was genuinely having a good time. But then they're like, okay, you have any room on that? And I feel like they're
mm,
probably more open to it. And instead of
mm-hmm.
just going in there picking a watch and said, what kind of discount can I get? So just
Yeah,
being yourself,
yeah.
just being friendly. I didn't do anything more than just kind of I was genuine. The watches they had in their safe were, bonkers watches
Mm,
that are, very very expensive. So
yeah.
Hmm.
What about you, Sanjay? You get into a car accident first, and then
Yeah. The car accident usually means the dealer is going to get a good deal. But yeah, I was going to say a similar thing, like be kind and
mm,
consider maybe visit a few times before actually buying a watch
mm-hmm,
from there.
mm-hmm,
Get to know everyone there, bring donuts. If you really hit it off with some of the people there, just be a human being to them, right?
yeah.
Um,
yep.
and it's another thing would be to play Federico's cards, not his cards, but the fact that you ask, hey, um, what is the best price you can offer me,
Mm-hmm.
on this watch, and
Mm-hmm.
then do the sharp inhale when they give you a price, like. But yeah, just have some fun, I
Yeah.
guess, and be kind. Be a decent human being to those around you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the good
How
guy
about you?
approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't be
uh,
a jerk.
yeah. Mizone's saying I'd be so embarrassed to negotiate and not have everything ready to buy then and there, right? I mean, like, what's the point of negotiation when you can't just like, okay, I'm ready to, take action now. I'm ready to move on this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's interesting.
he mentioned on principle that
Hmm.
person is never getting a deal again,
Yeah,
right?
Hmm.
'Cause,
I mean
yeah,
that.
I understand that too.
I mean that's happened to me like on like that happened to me like once on eBay. I was selling a watch, and somebody's like messaged me, right? I guess I didn't have like a I guess I had like a buy it now, but it wasn't like an ability to make an offer. So, but they made an offer, and I'm like, okay, well, so we negotiated, and then like, okay, I'll get back to you. I'm like, what do you mean you get back to me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I get what Fed is saying there. I ignored any other message that came out from this person. Um,
Mhm.
I'm I really haven't had the opportunities in the last like year or so to go to many ADs, and I just find the comfort of buying online. I mean, it's just easier, right? And so like with eBay, I've bought some watches in the past like year or two on eBay, and I found that I've gotten I think some really good deals negotiating. So it's really hard for me in regards to watches, not other things, but in regards to watches, like it's really hard for me to negotiate, person to person, right? But I could do it. I could do it on a keyboard, right? And so like a place like Watchbox, right? Watchbox is like out there on eBay, right? And you can make an offer into a lot of their watches, and sometimes you can make a silly offer because like they don't know who you are really, right? And so, but there's been times when with certain watches, right? Like my Romain Jerome, like it was like priced at a certain price, and then I was like, I'm gonna give them an amount. There's no way they're gonna say yes to this, and they said yes to this.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So like, and then you get a 10% coupon on top of that from eBay. You know what I mean? Like if you play your cards right with eBay, you can get like you can negotiate really well, and then get like another 10% off on it. You know what I mean? So for me, that's been my choice method is to go on eBay, and then it's gone to these secondary sellers online. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely different ways to do this, right? And everybody's got their little tricks up their sleeve. Mine is just hide behind a keyboard. That's my big trick, and have like a 10% coupon in my back pocket. And Target watches that I really really like that maybe the seller has, it's hard for them to sell.
Mm.
You know.
Well, I've
Um.
even gotten friendly with online dealers, like from Topper. I've spoken
Oh
with
yeah, yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
connection there a
Right.
lot. She'll say, "Can I call you if we're talking about price or something?" And
Yeah. Yeah.
she'll want to know, about you, what you
Hmm.
do, and
Good point.
genuinely
Hmm.
interested. And then we can, then I've gotten pretty good deals. Just forming a relationship with her, and we text and we
Hmm.
call, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about Top Percent. Top Percent Exquisite. They're pretty responsive, right?
Hmm.
And then every once in a while, like Exquisite, they'll send me a text and something's on clearance. Like they had a Seiko SNR with that green Christmas style. That actually Rob did that actual watch. Random Rob did a review for late last year, and it was like a ridiculous price, like $3,500. And they texted me, and I'm like, nah, I can't buy it, but that's a really really good price for that watch. That watch is a $6,000 watch. You know,
They just
so
had an SLA 043 for 2,500.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Whoa.
yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They were still available as of yesterday. I don't
Yeah,
know if they still are, but they were there yesterday.
yeah.
Wow.
Let's catch up with the chat, see what they had to say about this video. Fed is all online. Okay.
Mm.
I was surprised. Navy Blue Monster said when Fed said that depositing lots of cash has a bank fee. Yeah, yeah. He said that over a certain
Mm.
amount, he gets charged a fee. That's interesting.
Hmm.
I didn't know. I mean, I'm naive maybe, but I didn't know banks charge you a fee no matter what the amount is to deposit it. Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Please take my money to take my money.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. As I'm saying, yeah, and if you're trying to pay over 10K in cash, they have to report it, and then there's paperwork involved. They much rather not have to do that. Yeah, good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, no can do, my friend. That's a very popular line from Federico, for sure.
I'm showing my
Okay.
age. I ran a calendar stand at the holidays in my mall like 20 years ago, probably. And
Yeah.
every night we had to do the bank deposit with cash and checks and
Yeah.
everything. And I remember like being a little nervous about it and filling out the
Hmm.
paperwork right and getting the
Yeah, of
totals right
course.
and everything. Yeah, so that was, and the bank was in the mall, so it was really no big deal for me to just do it on my way out. But yeah, I
Yeah.
imagine for a business that
Oh, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
lot of cash and it's sort of a pain.
Imagine he goes like once a month to the bank, and he's like hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's yeah. I wouldn't want to do that either. Bruno's saying he got a discount when he paid by wire for Fed, so that is for real for that. Yeah, Fed always low balls. Yep. Dirk, hey Dirk, what's up, man? He said, I feel attacked. I just wrote a check to my dentist yesterday. Oh man, like I don't. I've never done that. I've never written like a check. I mean, I know people have done that, but I didn't even know that still was a thing. Fed did say don't negotiate price unless you're ready to buy now. That's absolutely reasonable ask. Totally
Hmm.
agree.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Negotiating is fun. I used to work at a pawn shop. Bruno, then you must be an expert, man, because that's like pawn shop. That's all you do all the time. I would imagine.
A fun part of Pawn Stars, right?
Yeah, exactly. Joey B saying I tell my dealer that they're infinitely valuable, and they tell me to get the hell out. Awesome, awesome.
I've actually told
Uh,
my dealers that my AD, not infinitely valuable, but I said, you know, I love you guys, right?
Jared is saying exquisite is great. Can't say enough great things about them. Um, Fed's microphone looks a little bit like Will Fed. Uh, Arizona Time entertains offers as well. Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of these. I've noticed a lot of these online dealers will have like a make an offer button,
Mm.
which is great. Which is great. I think that's pretty smart of them to do that. Dib, hey Dib, what's up? Fed will hold a grudge if you say out loud on YouTube that he lowballs and will refuse to buy from you or trade. True story. Okay. All right, so we're walking on eggshells here with Fed, but I think we're
Right.
generally positive about Federico. Fed, if you're listening,
Yeah.
which you're not, but but no,
I
we
love
love you.
his
You're a great guy.
approach. I like that he's honest and just yeah, you know where you stand with him, and yeah, he'll tell it like it is.
Yeah, Fed doesn't like that. Okay, that's probably that's what's happening here. Okay, all right. So great. Topic number one. Let's say it's in the books, and let's get to our other one. Anthony Ferrer, timepiece gentleman, came out with an interesting video a few days ago. A $150,000 scammer and a dealer tries to blackmail me. So a lot to unpack in this video. I really and I'm just gonna speak for myself. I'm not really into these like long form videos unless they're like building a log cabin in the woods with like a pickaxe and a piece of string, right? But some of these like drama type watch content videos, not really for me. But actually, a friend Rick on the chat was like, "Rob, you got to see this video. It's actually a good, compelling video." And I'm not a sub of Anthony, but I figured I'd give it a shot. And he was right. Rick was. Compelling video. So just to, in a nutshell, the beginning of the video, at least the first like 10, 15 minutes of it, you see Anthony in his shop, and a couple comes in, an Italian couple comes in, and I think they're trying to sell this Daytona or trade and get some cash for this Daytona. And Anthony is supposedly had given them an offer, and while they were doing so, he had posted that picture of the watch on Instagram, and within minutes got calls from his dealer friends about this watch, telling them that these guys are scammers. He then has his in-house watchmaker verify that the watch is a fugazi, right? The movement is not a real movement, although it seems like the rest of the watch is. I think later on, Anthony was saying that there is some value here. It just may be a Frankenstein. And so one of the guys then that verifies that this guy is a scammer. Um, Anthony has a conversation with him about giving him that watch, or the guy asks for that watch, or whatever. So Anthony just has made a decision to give him the watch as kind of like a trophy, but keep it out of circulation, right? So like other people don't get scammed by this. And the guy had said something in the conversation with Anthony initially that kind of raised a red flag, right? Like he was going to see if he could finagle the watch or get a. It seemed like he was going to try to pass it off and sell it and try to become whole from the money that he had lost. And so that didn't sit well with Anthony, and Anthony decided to confront this dealer at some show, and they go back and forth, and then this guy's trying to blackmail Anthony by attacking his Google ads, or getting a group of other dealers to attack Anthony as a reputation, as if that didn't already have a few dings on his reputation, right? So a very, very interesting video. I think I caught everything. You guys let me know if I missed anything. But first of all, Anthony, has had his issues in the past. He definitely comes out really good in this video. I mean, it is his video, but it is surprising, maybe not so surprising, actually. Let me rephrase about kind of how shady this business is or can be. And you can't really, it's really, really hard to trust anybody, right? Especially when you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars going back. People get really weird with money, right? People change. And it seemed like this guy that Anthony was dealing with, his friend, or maybe or somebody in his field, right, who was also a seller, just was willing to bend the rules here, so he can become whole and do something really, really dirty. And so good for Anthony for putting this video out. How many hits can his reputation take? Like, what does he have to lose? I think people still like to go to him and sell and buy watches, and people still like his channel. I mean, he's still got 70,000 subscribers, so it must work for him. But it just highlights how like crazy this business is, and there's a lot of it that I don't know, and it's just like, okay, maybe I just buy from ADs from now on, and so don't even fool around, right, with like secondary market or used market, or just buy from my friends, you know. Sanjay, what did you think of the video?
Oh, it was riveting. Like
Mm.
I haven't watched an Anthony video for some time. Like a Timepiece Gentleman video. I think they gained popularity when we first around the time we started Watch Soup the first time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a funny little coincidence there, but um, great. I really enjoyed the video. I was glued to my seat. My jaw was hanging open, and I was watching like with bated breath.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I think one thing he did was really interesting. Was he went like right to this guy's Jordan, I think Jordan
Mm.
Gellerman or
Mm.
whatever this 80s name is, went right to his face, and it was pretty condemning. Like
Mm.
the behavior, his behavior changes from the texts that were
Mm.
shown on screen to how he was behaving in person, and it was all kind of a little high schooly,
Mm.
like I was
Mm.
watching like a high school drama or something. It was interesting because these guys were
Yeah.
grown men, like in their 30s and 40s. But it was really weird. Like, hey guys, let's gang up on this jerk. His
Yeah.
let's bombard his Google, and then they have this phone call, and he's saying, "Hey, if you stop, I'll stop. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not telling you what to do. Just stop, and I'll stop." And It was just like, yeah, it was like a high school drama, but at the same time, it was like a train wreck, which you can't look away from. But I actually looked up Jordan Gellerman after, and he's had a few hits in the past. Like from
Mm,
2013, there was like like if you Google his name, there's some forum posts about some dubious dealings. So I'm not surprised this thing came up based on those things in the past. But um, yeah, I mean at the same time, like you mentioned, it is Anthony's video.
mm.
He's gonna look like a superhero, talking about morals and how great his scruples are, which, yeah, well, yeah. I don't quite know if, to the extent of
Yeah,
how accurate that might be, but interesting video.
yeah,
Had me for the whole 40 minutes or
yeah.
however long that was. So
Me too. Me too.
yeah.
What about you, Clayton?
This is my first time ever watching a video of his. First time.
Hmm.
So I wasn't sure what to expect. Obviously, aware of everything that happened. Made me if I ever wanted to become a watch dealer of any kind, never again. Don't want to. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Not at all. And also, I'm with you. Like just buying from these guys. So after watching this video, another one of his video plays, which was actually very interesting. It's like from a month ago. He sold a woman a custom you can make your own date just on Rolex's website, right? You can
Hmm.
put like the diamond bezel. So she got it from him, and then she took it to Rolex where she is in Phoenix, and then they told her it was a Frankenwatch,
Hmm.
and that it was actually made in like 2006, because in 2006 they had Z serial numbers. This
Hmm.
was a scrambled serial number. It was a 2022 watch, but it happened to start with Z.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
they told her it was, a 2006 Frankenwatch and aftermarket diamonds and everything. And so Anthony did his research. He got the watch back, took it to his watchmaker. His watchmaker verified it was a 2022 release. He flew out to Phoenix with this and to meet his client. And I don't know if you never know if it's real or if this is all made for a camera or whatever. But he went to the Rolex person and explained to them, like, no, this is an actual watch and you're giving bad information and damaging my business. Yeah, he's always the victim. He's got to
Yeah,
come in and
yeah.
save the day, right? Um, but yeah, so it was the video we're talking about though was very eye opening about how shady that business really can be, and you have to have experienced watchmakers working for you who know
Oh
what
yeah.
to look for. Because he said in the beginning he was ready to give that guy $100,000
Hmm.
until his watchmaker came. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
scary stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like those guys. I mean, they must. I guess they. A lot of them have like one of those like a sixth sense, like of dealing, and and maybe Anthony missed that initially with this guy, but having that network, right, where he could just put this on Instagram, and within minutes, is getting blown up by other dealers, saying that no, these guys confiscate that watch. These guys are up to no good. They've been doing this racket from like New York to Atlanta, and now they're in California. Like, I mean, like that's okay. So let's just talk about how that's an interesting racket to get into. Like, really, like that's your thing. Like, you're gonna you know try to pawn off a Franken watch and make money off. I mean, that just seems like really like high risk, no, little reward there. And but I guess when you're a crook, you're a crook, and you might have to be a crook to be able to identify another crook, right? And so it's just, yeah, it was more so eye opening on the fact that how the business is run behind the scenes, and the relationships between the dealers, and like how like everybody is out for a buck. Now, there's legitimate and good dealers out there. I get that, but it only takes like a few bad apples to ruin it for me, right?
Hmm.
So it's just really scary, eye opening, riveting video, like Sanjay said. Good stuff. I don't know if I could sub that channel and just like watch these videos. I mean, it's just too long. It's just too long. My attention span is just doesn't stay for that long unless you create videos like this. This was actually pretty good. I actually watched the whole thing. But thank God for like 1.5 speed and 2 times speed for YouTube too, because
He
otherwise,
needs an editor big time, and somebody to maybe that knows how to shoot video too, because a lot of it's not well shot and you can't
yeah,
really see things sometimes, and they're just too low. I think that could have been not maybe not cut in half, but easily shave a bunch
yeah,
of minutes off of it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and they're going back and forth with a guy. Like, I mean, like it just was too long. It was just too
Yeah.
long. Just give me the greatest hits, and I'll
I
be happy.
I kind of understand why he kept it, like just so that it doesn't look like he has cut and chopped the video up, so that
Mm,
it makes him look even better. So now this was like one uncut version, and so
yeah,
it looks like he's in the right, and he hasn't done any funny business with the video to make him look even
yeah, yeah.
better.
I
It's a
think
good part.
for his rip, it's so I think he's done that to give himself some cover
Mhm.
with his fellow watch dealer communities. It's that was not geared per se for the casual YouTube watcher who
No,
we could have appreciated maybe a little bit of downsizing of the video and some of the greatest hits. He kept it all in there for cover for his reputation for his business without a doubt. I agree with that, Sanjay.
yeah.
Let's see what the chat says. Hey, Chris from Luxury Bazaar is here. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Um, Paul saying from pariah to white knight after the internet yelled at him. Haha. Um, okay. Yeah, Keith saying, he needs an editor. This video could have been way shorter. Um, hey, Pepe D's nuts. What's up, man? How are you doing? Um, Rick is saying, can't believe I'm taking Anthony's side on this, but he was in the right for sure, for sure. Uh, Pepe saying, I'd never buy a watch from that guy. He doesn't validate watches. Um, hey, Mr. Cassioc is here. How you doing? What's going on? Joey B, don't trust any of the reality YouTube shows a lick, particularly any done by this clown. Okay. So yeah, I mean he's gonna have his detractors because of his history. I get it. Still a good video. Um, Definitely not good for the gray market. Totally agreed. Chris is saying, as much stuff as you hear about Anthony, he is 100% legit when it comes to business. He has never screwed anyone over. Okay, fair enough. Chris is in the business. I think he would know. Yeah. Um, this proves that all people are not infinitely valuable.
I disagree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, see,
The-
just a little bit. If you don't say that everyone is infinitely valuable, and you start assigning values to people, then
mm,
where do you stop? Right?
yeah. No. Look. I mean, Sanjay, I'm with you. I think Dave is giving. Hey, you mentioned it was kind of like a high school kind of like storyline kind of plot interaction.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Degrassi? Was it Degrassi Junior High? Is that the Canadian show?
No, I haven't. Isn't that where that singer came from? Like the
That
Toronto guy?
singer, which singer?
What's his name? Eric or something? I don't know.
Eric.
Like it's isn't that
Is it like Cher? Just Eric.
it is like a name, but he's known really popular. He's got a watch collection too, like a really horrible Richard
Guy named
Mille.
Eric with a
Yeah,
watch collection. Wait, isn't that the guy from South Beach? Eric from he has a YouTube
there's a
channel now.
guy. There is a guy with just a name, a
Okay, so
regular
there's
name.
there's there's a guy named Eric from Degrassi Junior High who's a famous singer apparently,
You got to know who I'm talking about, right?
and he's got a watch collection. Okay, well, actually, I don't. I'm
Wasn't
pretty
You don't?
sure.
Drake
Okay,
on
wait.
there? Wasn't
Get
it Drake?
me off.
It's Drake you're thinking of.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's him. Yes.
Okay,
Drake.
okay,
Okay.
Drake. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Is he from
Eric.
Degrassi?
I don't know. Was he
I
from
think he
Degrassi or
was.
was he?
I
Yeah,
think so. Yep.
Yeah.
there you go. Okay, yeah, I've heard of Drake. I've heard of Drake. You're on to something, Sanjay. You're on to something. Um, Jersey Shore meets Watch YouTube. That's pretty good. Um, yeah, that AD backed down very quick. Paul and Joey B getting at it. Well, let's let them go for it. Whole Milk agree on the editor. The whole video took me like 10 minutes to figure out what was happening. Yeah, shorter is better.
Mhm.
Everybody's agreeing. Hey, this is here. What's up, this? Hey,
Hey,
Sanjay and Bob. Oh,
yes.
thank you so much.
Hey.
Good to see you. Young Excellence from Canada chiming in. Drake. So,
Oh,
he knows. Justin Bieber. No, it wasn't Justin Bieber. I don't think he was in Degrassi. Doesn't the world doesn't need so many people? Human beings are killing the planet. So no, not infinitely. Oh, Dib.
oh,
Okay,
so harsh. So harsh. But Dip, love you, Dip.
yeah. Dib is definitely infinitely valuable. We can all agree on that.
Mhm.
Where's the time going? We got another topic to go.
All
Holy
right.
cow. Um, okay, Ocean O'Malley, Rolex Explorer II, 216570. Not the kind of video I thought it was going to be, but Clayton, tell us about this one.
That's exactly why I picked it because it's not exactly a review. It's more of a commentary. Um, and I'm going to use music for this a little bit. He did too, obviously.
Hmm.
So he talked about, you ever get in early on a musician, right? Like maybe you discover them when they're an indie label or on an indie label or they're an indie band or something like, Metallica Master of Puppets, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
At the peak of their
Mhm.
powers,
Absolutely.
and then, 13 years later, they do I Disappear for Mission Impossible 2. And you're like, what happened to these guys? Who are
Mm,
these guys? Um, so that's sort of what I thought immediately. And that's why I thought this topic was so interesting.
Mm.
So he talked about, yeah, how, an artist that you maybe get into early, once they hit success, whether, excess, they get money, they get lazy. They have a lot of people telling them everything they do is amazing, right? And that tarnishes their
mm,
material. So you're maybe not so into them anymore. They're never going to be that, you know, inspired artist maybe they were early on in their career. And he kind of compared that to Rolex a little bit.
mm.
Are they ruined by success? And then he went into a very macabre sequence of Amy Winehouse being carried out. Yeah, it was, and then Michael Jackson showing him as a young man, looking like Michael Jackson, and then showing him with the nose and all
Yeah.
that, and then Whitney Houston, who she was kind of like America's sweetheart in the '80s, and then she
Mm,
obviously had some drug issues and passed away. So yeah, and then he started to put in shots of the Rolex Explorer II. It was an
yeah.
interesting take. And Elvis was in there too. Fat Elvis. Uh, so and then he just talks about the evolution of the Daytona and the Sub. Real tool watches. He showed a picture of a Daytona, and then that leopard
Hmm.
deal, or like a Sean Connery wearing a Sub in James Bond, and then a blinged out diamond bezel Submariner. So they started out as tool watches. They quickly in the 70s and 80s became more of a status symbol. Playing with gold and with other
Mm,
things. They came more about aesthetics instead of utility. Um, and then he said, there were some holdouts though, but then the Explorer 1 and the Sea Dweller got two-tone treatment, and leaving only the Explorer 2 as sort of the last remaining like untouched real purpose-built watch. And then he kind of compared it, so he's a bass player, and he compared it to a Rickenbacker
yeah.
bass, which is the beauty is in the utility or in the function. So it's not
Hmm.
really a beautiful, if you just were to look at it, you wouldn't think it's a beautiful instrument, but just by playing it and hearing your heroes play it, it takes on beauty that way, and that's sort of the Explorer 2. It's so legible.
Hmm.
So it's really a tool watch, but it is beautiful because of that it's a tool watch. So I had a couple questions out of this video. The Rolex thing might be overdone, but my other question was, do we think any brands right now who are maybe making their master of puppets are in 5-10 years going to be making I Disappear? Like, are there any brands who are going to jump the shark that are successful right now
Mm.
that are there any brands that are going to blow it and get like too big for their heads and just kind of you know let it get them lazy?
Ooh, that is interesting. I don't know if I could pinpoint one brand on the spot. I mean, I could probably think of it, but what I'm thinking is like there's a lot, especially in the last couple years, the popularity of these small independent watch makers who are now getting orders and orders who have been, and they're trying to pump out, product, and like quality issues are happening, right? with that. So that's like one thing I see like kind of like jumping the shark. Some of these like small time independent watchmakers. I'm sure I could think of a brand, but you put me on the spot with a good question. I'm gonna have to think about that. I got homework to do. Sanjay, do you have any thoughts on that? Is there any brands right now that you think are have that potential or may jump the shark? Do you know what that reference means?
Yes, isn't that
Okay.
Fonzie?
Yeah,
Yes, yes. I think we
very
talked about this
good.
before. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I feel like I feel like Seiko Grand Seiko is in the process of doing that right now
Oh yeah.
with all the
Re-
releases.
Releases.
Maybe they're reining it back a bit. I've heard I can't remember who told me this, but I think it was you, Clayton. Was it you who told me that Seiko and Grand Seiko are not going to have any releases for the rest of the year? Maybe it was
that
Kevin.
wasn't me. I didn't say
Oh,
that.
okay.
Mm.
Maybe it was Kevin, but apparently it's they're trying to rein back all the releases. They're
Mm,
probably hearing the negative, like the fatigue from enthusiasts. But I feel like
yeah.
Seiko Grand Seiko is either in the process or already on top of the shark, kind of. I don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
know if they've jumped it yet.
Yeah.
But,
They're mid-flight.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
One thing I did hear and I noticed is that and I think I may have mentioned this to you, the number of limited editions are smaller. Like they're not
Mm,
making like a limited edition of 7,000. It's like
yeah.
1,300, 1,500, 2,000, 1,900. It's in there. So
Yeah. I. You know what struck me about the video? How ridiculous it was, though.
yeah, he's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. And you highlighted perfectly like some of the things that were just like, come on, man. I mean, like we're talking about watches, right? We were right. We're talking about watches. And then we have these images of these like like real people who had lives and family members who have fallen.
Right.
And then he's like comparing it to
He
like, oh,
got the point across, that's for
yeah,
sure. But
yeah. And there was like a lot of dramatic music and a lot of like moments where like no words were spoken, and
yeah.
it's just like, and I thought to myself, is this what people want to watch when they're watching watch content? You know what I mean? Like, because he's kind of quite the following, right? And he's not the only one who does kind of like these theatrical kind of videos for watches. Maybe he does push it more than others. But some of these like quality editing quality, like I'm stopping making videos on reviews because I can't compete because like some of these like reviews are just mind blowing. Like the team of people, there's someone that I would need to put out content like that. But yeah, it's just like, I mean, come on, dude, tone it down a little bit.
I
I,
think
Don't
if
be
I
he
so
made
full of
remember.
yourself.
regular, I think if he made videos like every week, he does streams too. But
Yeah,
yeah, he does
and
these
even those are
videos.
dark.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I remember thinking that where he was taking a sip of his tea or coffee,
Yeah.
and then he said something like, this is the last Rolex," and he takes a sip of his
Oh
tea,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
there's a long pause, and then
So
he cuts out
dramatic.
into
yeah, it's a little much.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
I love the video. I absolutely loved this video. It was so
It's
good.
beautiful. I mean, he is talented, no doubt. I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
What a backdrop, Venice.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Um.
I remember thinking that this was a little crazy, like, um, but at the same time, I was thinking maybe it's not the same. Like maybe this parallel, although very poetic, that he has the story that he has put forward, very poetic, very beautiful, um, very somber. But I don't think it fits because I feel like Rolex had to do what they did, right? It
Mhm.
was like the heart of the quartz crisis when they started to
Yeah,
become more luxurious, I believe.
I
Mm.
think that's
Um,
right.
and because of that, they went gold and more precious gems and gem set watches and becoming more luxurious and things like that. And I think it was a pivot that Rolex had to do, and they
Mm.
masterfully did it.
Yeah.
While all the other brands were floundering with quartz, Rolex, you know, did the oyster quartz, and then they went, no, you know what? No thanks.
Yeah.
And I think they did it really, really well.
Yeah.
And
And yeah. And to this day, like I would say, like my Submariner that I got in 2021 is the best built watch I've ever had.
Right.
So much for going luxury, right? I mean, it still has that tool aspect, and we're really talking about like other variations of these of these models that have gone like with diamonds or with precious metal and whatnot, but they still are on mission in building a tank,
Mhm.
and even those luxury ones or those gold ones, or diamonds. I mean, they're still built very, very well. So
Yeah.
Sanjay, good job bringing us back to what the point of that video was for sure. I mean, I got sidetracked
All
with the
right.
visual stuff, but yeah, yeah,
At the same time, he was like, waxing poetic about how, these watches that are built to go 300 meters underwater won't even ever see water, and things like that.
yeah,
But
we
I
know
think the
that.
romance, though, is the fact
Yeah,
that, um,
we
like,
could.
these are anachronisms, right? These are anachronistic. We don't need these. Like, if you're
Yeah,
going 300 meters underwater, you're going to use a dive computer and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
something
yeah,
far more capable, and
yeah.
you're handicapping yourself by using a Submariner,
Mm,
like potentially putting your life in danger,
yeah.
right? And it's no longer meant for that, but it's for the romance. And I
Mm,
think I think, although the point was to play on that romance still when he was talking about that, I thought it was beautiful. It was
mm,
really poetic, and I really admire Sheen. Um, but at the same time, you can take a step back
mm,
and be like, yeah, that was a good video, but
yeah.
eh.
Right. That's how I do with most of his content. Incidentally, he does in fact have a full gold Submariner. So,
Oh, really?
Right.
yes.
Exactly.
There you go.
So,
Um, Paul St. Dib obviously didn't get a Pepsi today. Maybe that's why he's so feisty. Um, Navy Monster saying that Ocean video was so dark. It was.
Mhm.
Um, This saying that Oshin taught Cliff Burton how to play bass. This I don't. I don't believe you did. I mean, they both played Rickenbackers, right? So I think there's the little connection there. Love
I've never
me,
listened to
stuff like that.
Oshin's band. What's it
Yeah,
called?
I don't even
Mr.
know.
North?
Yeah, I've never even. I mean, I know that he was in the band. That's all I know. I don't even know the name. I've never heard it. You know what I mean? Like
Well, they toured. I remember when Eddie Van Halen died, he released a video. They were on tour with Van Halen. They opened some shows for Van Halen, and
right.
I think it was in like 2005 when they had Hagar back in the band, and
Mm,
Eddie was off the deep end on drugs. He was
mm,
really and but anyway, they said they were sweethearts.
yeah,
Yeah, he had nothing but nice things to say about Eddie.
cool.
Yeah.
Bruno saying Elvis wasn't fat; he was horizontally challenged.
He's big boned.
Yet Oseen buys any Rolex he can get his hands on. Sure, very much.
Right.
Just saying, Lenny picked up this Rickenbacker. Oh, this with your jokes. This I loved Lemmy, man. Oh, I miss that guy. I wish
Yeah.
he would live forever. Um, Underachieving watch collector, basically a tool watch company turning into expensive blingy watches for tools. Guilty as charged.
He he,
Jared,
he loves Rolex.
yeah. Always enjoy Ocean's commentary and opinion. Don't always agree, but it is interesting perspective nonetheless. Michael Nauer, Clayton. I think Tudor and Grand Seiko are the most likely candidate to be doing a disappearing in the future.
I disappear. The Metallica. Yeah.
Oh, I disappeared. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what Tudor does. I don't know. They could be. They could just go the whole Rolex reissue, and that will
Hmm.
be jumping the shark for many. Even though, as Sanjay and I pointed out last week on the podcast, it's sort of what they were
Yeah.
made for.
Intern making a good point. JLC is well into a reloading territory. Most of it has been cost cut, reloaded territory. Cost cut into the mass market territory. Okay, I get now we're doing
Yeah, we're doing
Metallica references.
Metallica. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, yeah. No, but good point about JLC, right? I mean, like the watchmaker's watchmaker. Like who buys JLCs anymore? You know what I mean? Like, not
Yep.
not a lot of my watch friends do. Um,
The watch I thought of was the Moser QR
Oh,
code watch,
the second
and
you said
some of the
Moser, I
stuff
knew
they
what you.
do.
hmm,
The second you said Moser, I knew which one you're gonna.
yeah.
And
Uh,
like I think Sanjay pointed out, maybe when we did the one of the streams that he's tiring a little bit of antics of Moser a little bit, and
Mm.
that's just one that comment stuck with me. And then when I saw this, and I was thinking about other brands, like I wonder if Moser, but they make such beautiful watches that obviously there's always going to be a market for them. But I wonder if they do something that's like, okay, enough already.
Yeah. Joey B, too much drama. Ocean's too much drama. I hear you, man. Miss One saying watch brands have started being more careful about limited editions. Now they describe them as low production, and it gives watchmakers the option, to pull the line whenever they want. Joey B saying Explorer 2, still one of his favorite models though. Navy Blue Monster saying Zin with the MOP dials and gold bronze. Oh, are you talking about Zin? Jumping the shark. Is two-tone and precious metals next? Then gems? Hope not. Yeah, Zin has, in the last couple of years raised their prices. They went from a very affordable option for German watches, for tool watches, and now they're pushing the envelope. And I think every brand has a right to do that and see what their value is worth in the market. But yeah, I hear you, Blue Monster. I think you might be onto something there with Zen. Mez9 saying I enjoy Ocean's video far more than his lives. Mm.
Yeah, live streams are long, but he does a
Yeah.
new one with a watchmaker
Mhm.
called what's it called? Serious Watch Talk, SWAT.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Alex Fody, he's very knowledgeable guy. Well, he's a watchmaker. So
Man, then the chat is throwing around your tagline, Sanjay. Ocean is infinitely valuable. Yeah. Let's see here. Scrolling down. Oh, yeah, Mr. North. Okay. Band is called Trash Panda. Okay. Okay. Mr. North was the band. Dip saying, who cares? Nobody cares. Okay.
Somebody get him a Pepsi.
Yeah, please, somebody get him a Pepsi, right? Well, guys, we're running. Wow, that went really, really quickly, right? Watch Soup, a smashing success tonight, I think, right? Should we continue doing this? I think
I
I
had a
vote for
blast.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Clayton, thank you so much. Sanjay,
you.
thank you so much. Chat, great job as always. You helped us get us through here. Great topics, great time having, talking, watch YouTube content with you fellows. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next Sunday. What do you say?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll be here.
Clayton, Sanjay, Bobby Legs. I am Bobby Legs. I'm screwing up the ending here. I thought we had a good thing going, and I'm just totally messing up the ending, right?
Try to say goodbye to yourself.
Yeah, we'll cut that out of the video. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next Sunday for another episode of Watch Soup.
Have a
Take
great
care.
week.
See you guys.
Bye bye.